Hello, all the subscribers and everybody um, who watches Djedtaroth monthly prognosis. Today I'm going to do the prognosis for the coming month, which is April. And let's start this. I usually put this in a six setup of cards, which basically relates to different aspects of what we feel and what is going to happen. So the first card is the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune here in this card is how we feel about ourselves. Wheel of Fortune is a very interesting card, basically relating to everything that is highly symbolic in terms of good luck, life cycles, destiny, and turning points. This is a very special card when it comes to feeling how we feel about our intelligence and everything else connected with using it in a daily life. Wheel of Fortune is basically predicament, something that prompts us to think of how we can use our conscious forces of our psyche, our awareness to use it for our benefit. The planet of this card is usually connected with Jupiter, a planet of opportunity, growth, success, and expansion. Numerology, it's number 10, so it's a higher octave of the number 1, which basically is responsible for all the actions. We might feel a little bit underachievers, a little bit underrated people this month, not necessarily recognized for our abilities, our skills, and our talents. This is not necessarily going to be the case in this month, as we might use these powers, these skills and abilities to basically make our lives better and make our life process in a more smooth way towards achieving our goals. And this is very important card to understand that everything really depends on how we approach ourselves, our skills, and our qualities, how we empower them. There is lots of symbolic aspects about this card, as you can see. There is some relations to Sphinx on the top of the wheel, which represents life riddles. The middle wheel contains the alchemical symbol of Mercury, sulfur, water, and salt, the building blocks of life, and the 4 elements. And it represents the formative power. The outer circle represents the material world. The 8 spokes in the wheel represent the universal radiant energy, as well as the 8 Sabbats of the year. And the blue background, yes, light blue, is basically representing wisdom. Everything in this card is encouraging us to see ourselves as a big universe that can use its power to basically move forward and achieve a lot. So this is the card for April in terms of how we feel ourselves, how do we feel about ourselves in this month. Yes. The next part is the card that is basically representing our needs and everything we want in this month. This is Justice. Justice is a very special card when it comes to the meaning of connection to cause and effect, truth, fairness, and justice as such. In horoscope. It's it's ruled by Libra, which is also the figure, symbolical figure here. As you can see, this this character basically holds scales, which is a symbol of Libra. Justice is a very interesting card when it comes to understanding, what is the what is the meaning, what do our needs stem from. When it comes to the decisions that we have made and the actions we have taken in the past, we actually know what we deserve. Sometimes when we exaggerate and we don't necessarily feel something is rightfully ours, or something is really things that we deserve, it might provoke some sort of a stream of discordant feelings. Justice reflects the search of truth, so we need to know how to do it. We need to know how to speak the truth, how to perceive it in the words and deeds of others. We certainly want something to be done about our lives in terms of being just and fair. So we might be prone to detect dishonesty, and we might be prone to to see that in ourselves and others. This is the time to remain objective and basically base our judgment on facts rather than deviations from the truth and some sort of heresy, if I may use more symbolical language. We might strive for basically understanding what has been happening until now, and we want to provoke some growth. We want to basically feel that we want to see what things really are. The next part, which is responsible for our fears, is the card that is basically Five of Swords. Five of Swords is basically connected to everything in terms of fears, in terms of reverse or negative meaning of it. It's basically related to being open to change and being open to change in terms of ourselves, understanding our past resentments, and all the conflicts and tensions that stem from it. Anything that is basically connected to loss, defeat, and also our approach to winning at all costs, and betrayal that consumes our thoughts and our mind. I think this card provokes us to think about re-evaluating basically all the tensions and all the losses that we have suffered in the past, and how we can go beyond it, how we can change ourselves, how we can change our approach in our life in that respect. Five of Swords is a very, very good good card that shows us that sometimes we can be afraid of conflicts and disagreements. It shows us really what we want to at this period is basically fighting to be over, and if we can really understand how much forgiveness and forgetting things can help us to deal with certain changes and certain events to move on. The idea here is the conflict is becoming upsetting, and we realize that we can only be losers in the battle, so we just want to put this behind sometimes. Or if you dwell on the understanding of this card, you can actually You refer to this card as something that gives us some kind of hunch, some kind of hint, and some kind of prompt towards, leaving the stance of someone who doesn't necessarily know how to forget and how to move on, how to forgive. Sometimes we are willing to lay down our conflicts and begin negotiating, or honestly trying to arrive at the win-win solution rather than always knocking heads, and return to the Four of Swords. Here the understanding of this card is really required as well, where tranquility and peace drive you thoughts and behavior, moving away from all the tensions and conflicts, so we might be afraid of that. We might be not up for dealing with that kind of things for now. Yeah. The next card is Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands here is something that can show us what is going on for us. Queen of Wands is basically something that is connected to exuberance and some sort of warmth and vibrancy and determination. Some sort of reward is going on. Some sort of reward is basically coming up for what we want to have in our lives at the moment. Queen of Wands is an interesting card when it comes to understanding that certain types of behavior, certain types of energies can be basically moved on, can be can be lost in the process of understanding the feminine energy of the element of fire. So certain things are lost just because they are burnt out. Certain energies come to the point that we can radiate with health and vitality, rather than the energy of fire that consumes us through negative feelings. Queen of Wands is a natural born intelligent leader, so we might think also about some certain ideas that might lead us to certain notions that can help us to basically reevaluate things that have been happening until now. Yes, it's also connected to anything that is within the energy of fire. So all the talents, all the inspiration, being optimistic, being friendly, everything that is basically related to some sort of belief that fire can actually help us to propel, to initiate things, to also share with others, and our ability to express our passions with great authenticity and courage. So that's Queen of Wands. The next card is related to things which might be our obstacles, anything that is going against us. In this situation here we have Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles again is a very interesting card. There must be some sort of suspension, there must be some sort of lack of progress that is going on here. Page of Pentacles usually as a symbol of some sort of financial opportunity that might be not used, or some lack of progress and planning, or some short-term focus. It's very difficult to say exactly what it might be, because there are a couple of different eventualities that might happen here. Page of Pentacles is a symbolical aspect of failure in terms of not planning things in advance as it should be, and the result that is not very favorable. That is not we really wanted something to happen. Mm, I think the hint here is just basically reevaluate and just judge our intentions and judge everything that helps us to basically create something that has a very stable construction, a very stable setup of what we really want. So that's Page of Pentacles, and the last one is very favorable card. I think it's the likely outcome of everything. The High Priestess. High Priestess is a very special card in this setup, and also when it comes to understanding how certain things can reveal reveal themselves and unfold. High Priestess is usually a card that challenges the status quo of anything that is basically set upon the foundation of the belief that we have some sort of group identification. High Priestess here is basically showing us that the more we believe in ourselves, the more things can go our way. High Priestess is basically showing us that we can go beyond the restrictions of we thought are difficult, or that were limiting us when it comes to limiting us when it comes to doing anything. It suggests that we have desire to follow due process and to stay within certain conventional bounds, what is typically an orthodox approach, but High Priestess is also some sort of help towards understanding that we might do things our way, we might do certain things when there is some sort of problem that we might basically solve through a program, through some sort of tradition, some sort of syllabus for success. The likely outcome of High Priestess is basically a very good. It's something that is like a wise counsel towards what we can achieve. The more we help ourselves with certain type of wisdom, certain type of spiritual mentoring, or some sort of knowledge that comes from some authority, the better it is. The High Priestess is something that we can convey as doing something according to the rules, but not necessarily the rules that are that doesn't relate to what we really want. Something that is basically worked out through an effort, through a pursuit of some knowledge that we really dwell on. So we can learn new skills from this teacher, from this experience, which we may understand as a teacher, and we can help ourselves with with some good counsel and some advice that we can find. I know it's a very spiritual way of putting this, but in terms of some more practical, down-to-earth solutions, it basically this card is an encouragement to seek counsel, psychotherapy, any sorts of advice that can help us to create some sort of contingency plan towards solving the problems that we have in our lives. So that's the likely outcome of the situation in April. April is a very good month when it comes to initiating new things, and obviously it has, as we are talking about this a little bit earlier on, it's the higher octave of number 10. The higher octave of number 1, which is 10, and it shows us how we can transmute the initial primary energy of ideas and intuition to something higher. So it's basically working on the plan of of creating something into a more elaborate outcome that the High Priestess here represents. Yes, that will be all for April. Look out for the new prognosis that I'm going to put early in May, or you can always check our Facebook website and our blog. All these links are just down below in the description section, or you can contact me directly asking for some advice or reading. Thank you very much.